congratulations, you have hit level 20 and you are no longer a low level player. So now the question is, what gear are you going to be wearing at level 20? So first of all, I'm going to tell you about the melee weapons. Once you hit 20, you're going to want one of two. My favorite is personally the Stallion Halberd. You can go hashtag item, Stallion Halberd, and here it pops up. So these are for level 20 plus. They have pretty good damage and a pretty good hit rate. If you want something that's a little bit better, you can go with the crystal blade. These ones have a little bit extra crit in them, I believe. Yeah, 3 crits, so they'll probably be more beneficial. They're a little bit harder to make, but you can find both of these on the AH usually for a good price. So let's try the Stallion Halberd. Yeah, look at that. It's only 10k. That's pretty good. Look at those. Those are 4.6 and 5k. They're very affordable. So if you can grind just a little bit of gold, you'll be set up with a good sword. Let's check out the crystal blade. This one, since it's a little harder to make, oh no, look at that. Look, see, it's 3.3, 6k. Yeah, you can easily get a good weapon for a decent price. You just need to grind a little bit of gold. Now, when it comes to the shield, in my last video I told you that you wanted a shadow protector to begin with, but what is the next shield up from the shadow protector? So the next one that you're going to want to look at is a jungle shield. These can be a little bit harder to get because the NPC that drops the item to make it is a little bit difficult and you need quite a lot of them, but they're only for level 16. So let's see if we can go jungle shield. Maybe there'll be some for sale. 33k. I mean, that's not too bad. I personally like doing that quest, especially if you can get help getting someone to tank for you, because you get a lot of XP from it. So there's another video on my channel, how to do big tooth, and how to get there. It's very brief, but it's an explanation. The quest is done by the NPC just outside, so if you watch back at that video, you'll see where and how to make the jungle shield. So the next one up from the jungle shield, item, airguard, shield, is this one here. So this is the second best shield in the game at the moment. You can see it takes 3 corrupt air cores and 3 iron bars. Now, if you are at a level where you could do the Lucky Charm quest, you can actually Lucky Charm all 3 of those air guard cores. So if you can get someone to tank for you, you can drop those 3 bound cores, then you can pretty quickly make a bound airguard shield. So if you want to bypass all of the pain and suffering that you're going to have at Big Tooth, and you just want to get a shield really quickly, a good one really quickly, and you have someone to help you, going to the airguard boss and dropping some bound cores that way is probably really effective. So those are the melee weapons and the shield that I would recommend once you hit the levels for them. So let's see, airguard shield I believe is level, oh gosh, what is it, level 24. Yeah, so that's not too bad. Once you get to level 24, you can wear one of those. You just might need a little bit of help farming it and a Lucky Charm quest on. So now when it comes to your range weapons, what is the next range weapon that you want at level 20? So what you're going to want is the lotus longbow, because this is actually the only bow at the moment in game that gives you 2 range. So you can stand 2 squares away from any monster and hit it still. So even though some of the other bows might do more damage, I actually prefer the lotus longbow because it's really nice to get that extra range square. So they're relatively easy to craft. As you can see, you just need wooden handles, which are made with logs, and strings, which are made with jutes or webs or cotton, things that you've probably already gotten walking around. And the Phoenix and Aqua cores, which are 2 very easy bosses. And if you go to the AH, we can check out Lotus bows. Where are you? There we go. You can see that they're relatively low priced, so they're very affordable. If you'd prefer to roll your own, you can take a look at the Aqua cores. They're usually pretty cheap, and so are the Phoenix cores. So it depends on whether or not you want to buy one or if you'd prefer to take the chance on a roll and make your own. Now, when it comes to quivers, we have the normal and broken quivers that I told you about, but there are two better ones in game. It depends, they're about the same, but it really depends on what aesthetic you want and what damage you like. So you can go to item ice quiver here, and this is going to show you the ice quiver. You can get a ice core 1 soft leather to make this, and it's 2 to 6 damage with 4 hit, so it's a nice little damage boost, especially for someone level 10. Let's see if we can find one on the AH ice quiver for a good price. Usually there's some listed. Yeah, look at that, 6k, so that's not too bad. And then if you'd prefer to have more hit rate, which is good for archers, over damage, you can go item poison quiver. This is going to bring up the green one. As you can see, they're quite similar, so it's 3 to 4 damage, but slightly more hit, so it depends on if you need more accuracy or not. These ones are level 15. So what you need for these are 1 swamp core, some poison drops, and 2 soft leather, so they are a bit more of a craft. But again, if you go to the AH and you put in poison quiver, you know, they are pretty affordable as well, and you can probably find the mats for them at a decent price as well. So if you want to craft it out, you can do that. So those are probably the next range items and melee weapons that I would use. Now, when it comes to armor, so once you've hit 18, you've got the advanced battle plate probably. The next armor that you're able to wear is the baru or the baruta. This takes 20 days to craft. It is a quest to get this baru flock in order to craft it. These are the stats, or you can also try item lotus gear, I think. Oh gosh, what is it? Lotus armor? Yeah, there we go. This one is level 24. Very similar again, so it just depends on like what aesthetic you want. It's probably a bit more difficult of a craft because you need bamboo in order to make those canvas textiles, but it looks pretty cool. Another one that you can do is the archery armor. Now that is also a quest. It takes 40 days, so it's a bit more of a grind, but it's a very easy daily quest that you can do, and you can find all of the quests for both the baru and for the archery armor on eoguides.com. They'll walk you through how to get these. So this one's level 30. It's more for, you know, people who need a good hit rate. So around level 30, you can also go for ancient armor, and this is probably my favorite. So I'd probably item ancient plate, actually, sorry, ancient plate. This is probably the one that I would wait for personally myself because it has a ton of arm, and I am a person who likes to have lots of defense. So this one's a relatively easy craft. It's mostly iron. There's some jute and cotton. It's things that you're going to find around Avon. But again, you know, it's level 30, so you do have to wait a little bit in between, but it's worth waiting for. And that's probably the next one that I personally would recommend. It's the easiest craft and probably has the best increase in statistics, in my personal opinion. Of course, someone else is going to say differently because they're probably going to play with a bow. I play with a sword, so, you know, just take a look through those few plates and I will show you where to craft all of these in another video. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Thanks.